All right, everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to start some tomato plants. Now, I had some tomatoes from the grocery store, and when I cut them open there, the seeds were already germinating inside, which is kind of rare. I don't see that very often. So I took those seeds and I just threw them in a cup of some water here, and I also threw a bunch of other seeds. If you remember last year, I had the dead mouse tomatoes. I saved some seeds from those dead mouse tomatoes, and I threw some of those in here now, and there was another couple varieties. I don't really even know what's in here. So if you're watching this video and you want to know like a professional growing advice on tomatoes, this is more of a vlog, so you're welcome to follow along. I'm not real sure what's going to happen with these, but I'm going to just put them in these cups for now and get them going. It's already the middle of May. Now, you can go to the store and buy tomato plants that are probably this tall already, and that's what people do, and they'll be making tomatoes in a few weeks. But for me, I'm just doing this as an experiment, something fun, something for YouTube. So you're welcome to follow along and see if I actually get any tomatoes out of these things. Maybe see if the dead mouse tomatoes resurrect from the dead here. And I'm just going to get them going in cups like I said here now, and what I'll do is I'll take them and I'll figure out where I'm going to plant them later, but I just need to get them going. So this is the first step, and I got some Fox Farm potting soil here, and I have 3 bags of this that's been sitting around for years, so that's kind of why I'm doing this too. I want to use this potting soil. There's no sense in letting it go to waste. I'm just going to go ahead and do a little experiment here, and it'll be something I can follow along on YouTube throughout the year and see how they go. Now, last year, the dead mouse tomatoes, I hardly got anything off of them. They came up in the shade right in the corner of my house. If you saw the video, I did a short on it, and I just got a little handful of tomatoes. It was in the shade, so they didn't produce until like the end of September, October, and then it frosted and they died and it was over. This year, hopefully, I can actually put them out in some full sun, and I'll water them and things like that, and maybe I'll get some tomatoes, but that's the thing with gardening too, is like, if you start doing this, then you gotta buy insecticides and fungicides and fertilizers and spend all this time, and it ends up costing a bunch of money. I mean, you can spend, even if you spend $25 or $30, you could go to the store and buy some damn tomatoes right now. For $25, you can get a whole sack of tomatoes. That'll keep you going. I mean, if you spend a little bit, if you spend $4 or $5 a month on tomatoes, that's 6 or 8 months of tomatoes. So I don't really want to get into all that. I have some 7 dust I can dust on there, and I have a little fertilizer. So I'm just going to use what I have. I know this introduction is long. I know you're probably not hanging with me, but I'm going to get moving on now, and I'm just going to pop these things up. I'll show you what this cup looks like in here. It's kind of gross, but there's about 15 sprouts going in here, and I'm just going to throw them in some red Solo cups and make sure they get a good start on life and get them going at least, and I can replant them later. There's this cup now. You can see I got a bunch of sprouts in there, and I'm just gonna separate those out and throw them in some soil and give them a good start on life, and at least give them a chance and see what happens. Now, I don't want to waste a ton of time doing this. I'm just going to try to get through it real quick. I'm going to dump them on a paper towel and see if they'll just kind of separate out naturally there. Oh, they're all still in the cup. All right. So there's my sprouts. They're on the floor. You probably can't see that. They're all out there, no problem. I'm going to start planting these things up now. Not a big deal. Here's some sprouts. I got quite a few. I think there's a good 15. Okay, these tied themselves in a knot here. So something else, some of these tomatoes might be Roma tomatoes, and you know, I also wanted to mention that when you get them from the store, I don't know how well they do. They may lose their, what they call hybrid vigor. I mean, the ones you buy at the store are nice, and those are probably the nice first generation F1 hybrid tomatoes. And then if you take the seeds out of those, they just they might not do as good, but I don't really care. I just want to see what happens. This is just an experiment now. And I do have those dead mouse tomatoes, which were some type of cherry tomato. So I'm just going to take like one of these sprouts and drop them in here and be done with it. Let them get going. There's one. I got about 15 of these to go. Now I'm not going to talk. I'll probably put this on a high-speed time lapse and just get it done. And hopefully I get a decent length video out of this today. Okay, now there we go, and we got tomatoes going, and I don't know how many there's gonna be. Let me count the cups here, and several of these have multiple tomatoes in one because they were just tiny. So a couple of these have 2 or 3 sprouts. I can divide them out, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cups, and a couple of these cups have 2 or 3 in there. So I just wanted to get these going now, and you're welcome to follow along and see how they do and see what happens with these kind of tomatoes. I'm going to figure out where I'm going to plant them later. I have 3 bags of this soil, but I don't think I have 12 pots. So I may just put them in the ground. Maybe I'll just kind of till some of this soil in and work it in around them. I may put some in pots and I may put some in soil. That's probably what I'll end up doing. But follow along and see how it goes. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. It's going to be an interesting experiment.